Hello there guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Pilot194 and I'm pleased to announce today that today's video is on the Thumpers. More specifically the Class 205 on Train Simulator. Armstrong Powerhouse has done a fantastic job bringing the classic Thumper units onto the simulator. And it just released yesterday. I'm recording this on the 12th, so it was on the 11th when it was released. And comes in all the liveries that they've ever operated in. So it comes in green, BR green, BR blue, blue with grey, Network Southeast as you can see here, and the Conics livery, which I think is pretty cool. The Thumpers are quite unique, and I remember seeing a preview video while they were recording the sound for the Thumpers, and I believe they were doing that on the preserve line that went out of Tunbridge Wells West and Idrich. I'm not too sure which one that is, but so yeah, I'm here today. This is my first look video. It's the first time I'm doing a first look type video of the Thumper, and I will show you around the train, and it is pretty amazing what sort of detail they've put on this, and the more and more add-ons that Armstrong Powerhouse come up with, the more and more I like using their stuff. I mean, I enjoy their sound packs, don't get me wrong, they're amazing, but the more and more train packs. So I invested into the 321 Dusty Bins, the Pacers 143s, the Class 40, and the DVTs and Class 90s, and they're amazing, all of them. So let's start up. We'll turn the master key, and we'll set the reverser to neutral. There's the AWS there. So there is a lot on this train, so it abides by the modern standards because the Class 205 was in operation until 2003. So it has TPWS here on the right hand side here, and AWS, which was fitted originally anyway. I love classic AWSs with the bell and the chime, and that's about it really when it comes to the safety equipment on board the train. So one of my favourite features about this is the head code. So you can open this. I'll open it now, and if I press J you can see that the light on there comes up, and you can also adjust these by either you can twiddle these knobs here until you get the right number. So we're going to be number 10 today, I think, or you can use Control F4, Control and F4 for the left side. I don't see. Okay, yeah, so that Control F4 seems to work, but Control F3 doesn't seem to be working. But that's basically to change the head code numbers, which I love because you can actually adjust it to yourself. So we'll close that up, we'll lock it up. Another feature I absolutely love, I mean, you got the handbrake here, which to be honest all trains have. There's this paddle, I'm not too sure what that means, but this is, remember, first look. I'm not too familiar with the stock of train. But if I go here, this is a electrical panel, so you can open it up. This big handle here is so you can turn on the electrical heat, so that'll be good for the winter. This here, saloon lights, so if I was to go out here, you can see now that the lights inside the cabin are on. And then you've also got the electric train heat control here, which can only be activated when this is on. You also have the engine room light, which is pretty cool as well. And then you've got two switches where you can actually turn off the TPWS and the AWS, which is really cool. But apart from that, everything else on here doesn't work. So all these breakers don't work. There's fuses in here and everything. I love the detail. It's absolutely amazing. So we'll close that up. Another feature is this control bit here is actually inside the engine room, so you can local start it straight from the engine. There's a fuel primer button there, so in the colder weather you would need to prime the fuel a little bit just because it's really cold. And then you've got this one, although we've got a thing, I'll show you that in a minute, but there is an electrical panel here which you turn on for the battery, and I'll actually do a video showing you how to properly set up this train on a cold start. So you've also got this control panel here, which is for the in-cab signalling system, although I am currently on the Epic Younger preserver oil, so it doesn't work, so I'm just going to turn it off. But on the main lines they work. So you set, I can also show you a video of how to set that up as well if you want me to, but Yeah, I mean that's about it really. When it comes to the cab, oh, we've got 01. Better change that. Hang on a second. Actually, no, 01 is fine. We'll just leave it like that. Another feature of the cab I like is this. Right, you see a door here. This is one feature I love about Armstrong Powerhouse. They actually put a lot of detail in, and you can unlock it, and if I click it again, it opens. If I go to the exterior view, and look, it's open there. And that's about it really. I mean, we can get on with driving the train now. This particular one, the reason why I'm doing it like on the Epping Unger is because this unit, 205 in this livery, Network Southeast livery, is currently preserved on the Epping Unger. And I thought, hey, I found this Epping Unger online, and I'll leave the link in the description for you to download for anyone who are interested. And this is the Epping Unger as it is today, so basically in the late 2000s. So I'm just going to check the routing now, just so we can get to North Wold, and then once I get to North Wold, I'll conclude the video. But the sound on this is amazing. The detail is amazing. I'm not too familiar with the Thumper units because they came out of service in 2003. But I have ridden on Slam Door Southern units, but I think it was a 4-vet, but that was back in the day. There we go, there's our guard, and we'll reply back by pressing C. So 2 replies back, we'll set to forward, release the brakes, and we'll get going. You can listen to the engine if you want, and that's where it gets its famous name from, Thumper, thumping, you know. If I go to 4, there you go, it's thumping away. I absolutely love the sound on this. It's pretty cool from inside the cab here and from outside. Cab sounds are amazing. I don't know what it is. For me, I like cab sounds as well. So when you move the notches, that they sound, and when you press buttons, like, you know, you can. That's the AWS button. You can hear it. You know. So we are on the Epping Unger, 10 miles per hour here. There's not much else to say. I mean, you can admire the train as much as you like. I mean, and I'm glad Armstrong Powerhouse have done the Thumper. I'm waiting for their 313 now, so I can really enhance my scenarios on the East Coast Main Line, Peterborough, London. But another thing I find disappointing about this unit is that there isn't many lines that you can actually run this on. As in, like, realistically speaking. I mean, yes, if you got some of the preserve lines, I'm not too sure which ones are available as mods, because this is technically a mod. And yes, they do have a Thumper there. You can use it. So I'm just going to open up the throttle now to 20 miles per hour. You can hear that beautiful engine. But yeah, I mean, the only scenarios they got available are on the London South network and the and London Victoria, Brighton to Victoria. But the problem is with all Armstrong Powerhouse scenarios that they are extremely demanding. Even on like a PC like mine, it's quite high end. I have problems with it crashing. Even when I bring down the volume, even when I bring down the quality of it, and I have a problem with the crashing. Oh, another feature I didn't mention is these Armstrong Powerhouse has introduced this new physics where the carriage and the bogie are separate to each other. So the carriage itself can move differently to the actual bogie set, which gives you a nice effect from inside the cabin, like the swaying motion you got here, because we're going over jointed track. Got this swaying motion left and right and up and down. You know, it's pretty cool. Just gonna notch up because we are on a 1 in 105 climb. So if you don't know about Epping Unger, it used to be part of the London Underground. Now is preserved railway. Epping is in this line is in Essex. I've been on this line once, and it was about 3 years ago. Absolutely wonderful scenery. That part is quite flat. And the line used to be part of the Underground Central line, and was part of the Underground at a time where they were estimating London to really grow out. So that's why it never really grew up, because after the war there was new Greenbelt, regulations where you couldn't build on land that hadn't been built on before. And so the line just fell into disarray, and in 1994 last service on the underground ran, and then soon after a society was put together to reinstate the line, which I think is pretty cool, and I'm glad that it's open now. So back to the 205 Thumper, as we are on notch 4, going between notch 4 and 3 to hold the speed. At 20, you'll notice one of the features of Thumper units is actually this black triangle in the center of the yellow warning panel, and that's to tell platform staff on which end of the train the guard is, basically, and the brake van. Just going to ease off the power, and you can actually see where the guard's compartment is the big engine, the big V12 engine, which sounds absolutely amazing. You can hear the sound of the jointed track as well as the train rolls over it, and you can actually see the I don't know if you can see it on there because of YouTube compression, but you might be able to make out the actual body of the train rocking side to side, which I absolutely love this. And you do have, for the first time, we now have a passenger view in a Armstrong Powerhouse add-on, which is really nice. The downside is there's no animations in here, and there's no moving around either, so you're stuck with this view. And yes, the upholstery changes depending on what livery you have, so everything apart from the blue and the green, you have this Network Southeast upholstery, which is something I am very familiar with, growing up in the Network Southeast catchment area and seeing trains, you know, with this upholstery. And I think it's really nice, the amount of detail they've gone into this as well, like with the stickers and that. I mean, they're old stickers, but obviously the time that these units were actually in operation, it's appropriate. The only downside to this is the horn, I think. The low isn't very loud, and I'll just be quiet for a second and I'll let you try to hear it. See, it's not very loud, but the high, see, the high is fine, the low isn't, even from outside. But I assume that's because of the unit that they actually recorded it on. That's how the horn is on that, so that's what I think that's all about. We're coming up to 30 miles per hour, and we're coming up to Blake Hall. Blake Hall is not open, but I believe the platform has been reinstated like you see it on this simulator, but the land and the station building is privately owned. And I remember that when I went through here a few years ago, that there was a swimming pool out the back garden, but you know, I don't really know. But yeah, I'm full power now. You can hear the thumping, you can hear the engine very beautifully powering away. And I love the cut-off sound as well, you know, so when I get up to 29 miles per hour, I'll cut off, I'll go straight to idle on the throttle, and you can hear it. You can hear the cut off, and so we'll go cut off. I love that. That's a really nice sound. Now we're picking up speed on jointed track. You can hear the more clickety clack that you would normally hear. It's really nice as well from inside the cab. You can actually hear the whine of I don't believe it's got a turbocharger on it, but it sounds like a turbocharger. You can hear that whine. I know most diesel locomotive engines have turbos on them, which makes them awfully clean, obviously, because if you know how a turbocharger works, it basically feeds the exhaust power back into the engine to produce more power, essentially speaking. So we're at another incline of where we are controlling the speed by notching the throttle backwards and forwards. And you can see the carriage is swaying now as we're hitting 30 miles per hour over this jointed track. I'll do a run by shot because, you know, why not? I'll get low, and I'll probably get myself a thumbnail for this as well as we roll down the track. Yeah, so like I say, I really love this, and I hope to do so. It's literally only been out currently a day from the time that of this recording, and I've been through the manual just to have a look, and that's how I've managed to get the correct numbers on here. So the train number being 205 and then the carriage number here, which is on the other side, 61110, and the back end is 6081, which is the true numbers for the two carriages that are on this unit on the Epping Unger. But I'm so happy that there is this detailed DEMU, and it makes a change really, because I love the heritage stuff as well as I love the modern stuff. Some of the heritage stuff just really shines, and if they can put enough detail like this, it's a shame that Dovetail Games couldn't put this much detail. It's a shame that Dovetail Games couldn't put this much detail into their EPBs, because this is essentially an EPB, and look at how much detail Armstrong Powerhouse has put into this, and it's absolutely amazing, you know. And I don't see why sometimes Dovetail Games does skimp out a little bit, but that's just the thing that they do. They you know, and people at Armstrong Powerhouse really do push the boundaries when it comes to the simulators. I mean, their scenario packs are absolutely heavy. When I say heavy, I mean that they put so much effort into making things so realistic and absolutely, you know, detailed as they can, you know, without. But the problem is, obviously, you have issues with people's computers and that's why they put warnings. I mean, that's how serious that Armstrong Powerhouse are, and I love them for it. And I have bought a lot of their products, and it's like, even sometimes, like, I know Dovetail Games, they released the Class 303. It was rubbish. Like, I am not joking. As much as I say, I like heritage trains, that is classified now as a heritage train as it's not in service anymore. Listen to that squeaky brakes, I love it. Anyway, like I was saying, the Class 303, and I bought as soon as I bought the Class 303, I bought the sound pack from Armstrong Powerhouse. Why did I buy the sound pack? Because it made it more realistic. It even made the train feel, because they changed some of the physics on the train, and so it made it feel a lot nicer. So here we are, in Off-World. I'm just going to shut down the train like you would normally, put the brake into full service, and then turn that off, turn the master switch, and put the brake back there, and you can see the brake pressure doesn't drop. And then to shut down this one, you need to go to and change these to the red markers. So, oh wait, it's the other way, because I believe that the red markers are dead center, so it's in between the 5 and the 6. So there's 4, there's a blank one, and there's the red. We want the red on this side as well. And that's how you and we need to turn off the headlight as well. Can't forget that. And boom, and close and lock. So now this locomotive has been shut down. I'm going to open the door so we can get out. Don't need to do that, but RP, we'll shut off the headlight. Headlight is off, and then we'll leave the train. And then we'll open the doors as well, why not? What I like about this as well, there's a feature, I think it's called advanced door closing and opening. So you'll notice that, look, the door closes and maybe another one will open somewhere. A couple of doors close, all the doors are closed, but I don't think all the doors are technically closed. No, I think it is. But anyway, this has been my first look at the 205 Thumper units. I prefer driving on the motor end because you get the sound of the motor from the cab. However, obviously there are 2 cab ends, and the downside is to driving on the other side. It just feels like an EPB because it's just really quiet. Obviously the physics are a bit hairy, but then again, I believe that's realistic anyway, because of it's a diesel from the late 50s, early 60s. And I hope you enjoyed this, and this has been a first look, and I will do some more videos maybe this weekend, showing you around more details and doing a cold start, for example, because I've been practicing a little bit on cold starts, and even showing you the even showing you the radio system here, the signal radio system. So anyway, this has been Pilot Boy 94, and I hope you enjoyed this first look into the Class 205 Thumper from Armstrong Powerhouse. And I hope to see you on the next one. Will it be a train simulator video? Will it be a flight simulator video? Who knows? Wait and find out. See you guys later.